If anybody ever deserved to be a pillar, it's you.
Cuban pillar, yes.
How does it all begin? Were you fascinated with buildings as a boy, or what inspired you?
You know, living in Miami, which was created as a tourist destination, and especially the southern part of Miami, which is sort of used a Spanish colonial vocabulary, Mediterranean, and it was just all those buildings that were part of what I was looking at were just so evocative. And also in Cuban society, as it were, architecture is a respected way to be, or respectable way to be a creator.
You went right into architecture as a major and undergraduate?
Yeah, when I started college, it was on that track. Carey and I created a business on our own from the very beginning in our careers.
That's a very courageous thing to do. What has always been impressive to me is that when you walk into the homes that you've done, no two look alike.
We are lucky that the relationships with the people that we work for in general feel like collaborations instead of our sort of dictating that things will be done a certain way.
Your first book is stunning for all of us who had no idea that Cuba and Havana in particular had these kinds of magnificent historic homes.
So I grew up very Cuban, but to be in Havana was just mind-boggling. I just was drawn to it. Well, as I was researching the first book, I kept running into older people, some of them who knew my family, whose memories of Cuba before the 1959 revolution were about to disappear with them. I became so taken by them and their stories, and this idea that I almost had a calling or a responsibility to gather as much of that information as possible, because I was interested in the neighborhoods and the architecture, but only as connected to the family life that was going on there. So to me, it's always been about the people and the life that happened in these houses and neighborhoods. Cut to the latest book, which is not about these landmark mansions, but about the quite glamorous, I think, style of the contemporary elite in Havana. And that elite can include, foreign diplomats or Cubans who work for international companies. But I think there's a great surprise on most readers who are used to seeing the dilapidated Cuba romantic, which makes me crazy, but that's another story. And instead, here's this sort of bright and crisp and sophisticated and comfortable lifestyle of these houses. As far as the library type stuff goes, we just finished picking up yesterday in New York the last of the boxes of almost over 800 books and periodicals that have been donated by the architecture and historic preservation community in New York. And it's a library that's going to be at the center of a new facility that's being created in Havana right now, inside a 17th century convent, Convento de Santa Clara. And it's going to be a training center for all the disciplines related to conservation, preservation, restoration, and serving the whole Caribbean basin. This project is happening just at the right moment, because if anything, what we need to do is to build bridges to sort of share information at this point with the Cubans. That's so hugely important.
I love it. Fantastic.
It's about the future.